Hi there, it's Leandra from PaperArtsy, and tonight it's night 3 of our new product release for 2015. And as you can see, it's all about JOFY tonight. Jo Firth-Young is the designer of this collection of stamps, and I'd just like to start by showing you some of her original stamps. We have done 3 Christmas releases now with Jo, and some of these are from her earlier releases. I love how her Headless Snowman was always quite popular for those who are a little bit bar humbug, we call them in England, if you're not so much of a Christmas fan. This was popular as well, sort of a take on hear no evil, see no evil type concept, except it's sort of like don't listen to Christmas, don't see Christmas, don't, that kind of idea. So her sense of humour always comes through in her stamps. Love the bunting, she's an absolute bunting addict. And then, of course, Jo's stamps, she's very well known for these beautiful flowers that she's done, and they all build together to create really lovely backgrounds. There's quite a selection of these flower stamps. The stamps always come trimmed out, ready for you to use. In addition to this, Jo's had with us for some years now selections of what we call minis. These are credit card size stamps, and sometimes they're a background stamp where you could create your own backgrounds or patterns, abstract. And then other times they're additions where you could perhaps use these to make more of a little border for your flowers. And then sometimes they're quite detailed, standalone on their own type stamps. So that's her minis. And she's also done stencils for us in the past. This was very popular. Again, you can see the same design from the stamp is being repeated there. This one also really good, using in the background perhaps with grunge paste or paint. And this one, we've never really explained this one particularly well, but it's a design that they layer up on top of each other so you can create more and more detail. Go and take a look at Jo's blog because she's got some really good explanations on her blog with examples of how this particular stencil works. It's fantastic. So what have we got from her for 2015? Let's take a look. So these are Jo's 2 newest stamps. She decided that it would be quite good to have some larger images that could work really well on the backgrounds that people constantly make with the flowers. So that's why the house fits in really perfectly here. It's a good size, so it's going to look fantastic with a border of flowers behind it. And then the whole bee thing. She's always being asked to do more bugs, more bees, and so that's why she's come up with this whole beehive with the honeycomb, and there's 2 different sizes of hexagon here so that you can easily create your own honeycomb. There's some fantastic samples to show you with these stamps. In addition, she's also got some minis. So like I said, the bugs, she keeps getting asked for bugs. And she's done quite a few smaller stamps that are going to be really good for on your cards, but also she's thinking perhaps mini scrapbooking as well. And this is the garden tools set. Now she's had a lot of requests for the garden tools, and of course that is to work with these fantastic sheds that she did a lot earlier on. They could be beach huts, but they can also be garden sheds. So those work really well with these garden tools, and she's done the tools and the little pot plants at the right size so that they sit in next to those 2 really well. So those are the minis, and then she's also got a couple of stencils. So you'll recognise this element from her last stencil, but of course it's much larger, and it's just really nicely positioned so that you can easily use that again with grunge paste or paint, and another really cool sort of foliage thing going on here. Plus she's got her limited edition paint. So she's got Jade, which is an opaque colour, Buff, also opaque, Prawn, which is a semi-opaque, and Southern Skies, which is a translucent. So this is the 3rd limited edition paint set that we've had from Jo, and it will be with us while stocks last. Usually we expect around 6 months, so probably through to the middle of 2015 we'll have this available. So let's show you some really cool artwork using all of these new products. So Jo's had a few people helping her with artwork for these new products. Not all of it has arrived, some of it has to come from overseas, so we can't show you everything, but there are links from our blog, from the PaperArtsy blog, to these projects, and there are even more details on the blogs of the people who have done art as well. This is fantastic. It's from Helen Chilton. She's always using bright colours, and I love how she's got the trees, a little house tucked away in the trees, and she's done this one as well, which is just so cool. Little picket garden at the front there, little picket fence, sorry, going across the front. She's drawn some flowers and things there. Really cool. We've got also some great samples from Karen. Here she's taken the whole idea of using the keys, and so that's quite clever. She's really thought through the colour palette. Jo sort of issued everybody with a colour palette to work with, and so Karen was working the whole colour palette in a really, I love her minimalist way of doing things. And she's also got the keys here on another card. Just a stripe of that beautiful Southern Skies paint. And then on this one here, this is great. The little bugs showing through. These are little apertures in the card. And the last one from her, a bumblebee. She's put some metallic glaze on the wings of the bee, which makes it sparkle. And we've got some fantastic examples which Kay Carley has done. Kay really enjoys working with Jo's stamps. So here she's got the beehive, which is just coloured to perfection. She's even cut out all those little bumblebees, the teeny tiny ones, absolutely meticulously. I have no idea how she did that. It's great. She's got a little bit of sparkle on there, as is her style. And another one, more Diddy bumblebees. So cute. And this is with the bigger bumblebees. And even bigger size. She's actually cut through the windows here to behind with the honeycomb. And then we've got another couple of samples to show you from Kay too. Kay Carley's also done 3 amazing cards for Jo. This is a sort of a pop-up, the front section pops forward on the card, and she's really coloured these beautifully, the 3 houses, and it just is an amazing construction, the detail that she's done on this. It's just stunning. And she's got another one here, amazing green grass at the front, all coloured beautifully. And then the far end, similar version on the theme. Just beautiful cards, and I'm sure if you go and look at Kay's blog, she'll show in detail how she's made them. And of course we've got to have some samples from Jo herself. So here she's got the bumblebees, and she's used see-through or acetate wings on those guys, which is quite cool. And she's got a little bit of metallic glaze on there as well, which makes them sparkle. She does love her metallic glaze. And this is sort of like a bigger version of that, with a lovely little piece of wire and a bumblebee poking out the top there. And many of these samples she's got step outs for on the PaperArtsy blog tonight. This is another example of how Jo uses the slate paint, and then underneath she puts metallic glaze on top. I think I referenced that in another video that we'd done on new products, and it looks really cool because it makes it just look like metal. And I think she's used the pearl glaze here on top of her blue. So there's a whole technique here, because until you look at it closely, it's the background is light waving through to sort of a darker shade on this side. So she shows you on the step outs how to achieve that, going from light to dark really evenly. But then her stencil that she's used, which is a circular stencil, starts light on this side and she comes through to dark on that side. So it creates quite a good effect. And here's one using the little garden shed and all the tools. It's a nice, very minimalist one here. She really likes using the craft card and then colouring in the words with white. It's so effective, really makes them pop. She's done the same thing on this sample here. And again, she's taken the paint and washed it out. So it's great how it starts nice and dark at the top, and then she manages to get this fantastic washout. Again, minimalist, this one. Just stamping onto craft card with the white paint. It doesn't have to be any harder than that if you don't want it to. On this sample here, she's got some of the flowers from her previous sets of stamps, but she's using all different colours, and the beehive's tucked away in the background there, and she's got this on a piece of scrapbooking paper, but by just making the beehive white, using the white paint at the bottom, it really makes it stand out. And look at the little bug down here, how cool. And just a couple more to go. This is using all of the paints from the colour palette, so she's got, except for the prawn, so she's got Buff, Southern Skies and the Jade, and the way she gets the different tones of the colour by watering them down or washing them down, and sometimes she also mixes buff into the paint, which gives a different value as well. And look at the slate on the roof. And then one last sample using the stencil. Slate is one of her favourite colours from the past set, so she uses it a lot, and I don't know if the camera is going to pick it up, but she's actually used the pearl glaze through the stencil, so you can see the stencil. It's sort of a bit holographic in real life, so you can see the three grey ones, but if the light catches it in the right way, you can see the pearlescent version behind that. Okay, so that is Jo's 2015 release. Don't forget, these products are in stock with your favourite PaperArtsy stockists now, so do go and check them out. And we'll see you back again tomorrow night for another 2015 product release.